morning, guys. Welcome back to the show. It is Friday, March 1st. I know all of you are happy because it's Friday, getting ready for the weekend. I love those days. Unlike Monday, when you got to get started, you can unwind to the weekend. And we have a lot to talk about today. We have a fighter live on the show today, and we're going to dial in through sports, obviously NFL, NBA, a lot to talk about into our quote of the day as well. But listen, today's the day to get to learn something new and get to see somebody new. And a fighter who's in the fight game, who's growing and learning, is going to give us a lot of the synopsis of what it's like behind the scenes. A lot of people have a lot of questions. You can ask them in the chat as well as we dive into this. We're going to bring them on in a second, but as you can see, live in view today with Howard Davis, goes by HD, Bareknuckle fighter. And listen, if you have any questions, put them in the chat. Don't hold back. Don't be scared. But listen, welcome to the show, HD, Howard Davis. I see you back there, man. So good to have you on the show.
Thank you for having me on, man. Thank you for having me on this morning.
Listen, I didn't get a lot of chance to connect with you that much because we got a chance to talk before we got you on the show. And a lot of people, Howard, like, where is this guy based? What is he doing? And he's circling through, social media. We see you on Instagram. A lot of people are like, I got to see this guy fight. And I got to tell you, man, you're a warrior out there. It takes a lot out of you. But what goes through your mind? How did you get started in bare knuckle fighting?
I got started with my amateur coach. He saw bare knuckle growing, and it's one of the fastest combat sports that's growing right now. And I had all the tools to be successful in it. I come from a fighting background. Like, I didn't box particularly when I was younger, but I fought a lot. Just from being a kid to being in school. I was a bad kid, so I always fought with my my fists rather than boxing gloves. And then I eventually got into boxing gloves, and that's how he became my coach. I had a few coaches before him, but he became my main coach, and we seen an opportunity to just use, bare knuckle as a launch pad to get into the pro leagues of boxing.
Yeah, listen, when I gotta tell you, people that watch this for the first time right now and have no idea, some people have an idea. Bare knuckle fighting is nothing like when you watch other different fight, championships and groups and stuff. Yeah. It's like boxing, great sport. UFC, great sport. Bare knuckle is a whole nother kind of warrior, HD. I got to tell you, and I got some pictures and I'll pull up here with some reaction images too. But look, HD, I'm watching you out there. I'm like, dude, first off, this guy's shredded. This guy's in great shape. You come down and I got some highlights too. I got some cool shit. But listen, walk us through this. When you get out there, you get into the ring. I'm not going to the entrance in a second, but you're in the ring. Yeah. What goes through your mind when you get ready to start? Boom, boom, boom. Let's fight. How do you feel right there?
It's a very relaxing feeling because going through a grueling, training camp, whether it's 3 months, 2 months, wherever the duration of the camp is it's a lot, So when you finally get to the end goal and you get all the work, blood, sweat, and tears that you put in, the sacrifices of not being with your family, the things you can't eat, the things you can't do, it's a lot. You finally get to that moment, and it's very just refreshing. Like, it's time. Like, the only thing you got in your head is the game plan you and your coach have gone over 1,000,000 times, and now it's time to execute it.
Listen, I'm gonna pull this clip up right now because I wanted to say, hey, give it a second, but look, let's get right to it, right? Like, this guy, this is what it looks like when you're coming out fighting, HG. And when I watch you, whether it's in person or on the screen or even on Instagram, I'm like, this is a whole nother person. Like, when you, like, behind the scenes when people are watching fighting, and you know what, and also the guy in the production here on our show, his name's Howard too, he goes, the ring it's a circle. It's like a real ring, right? Like,
yeah.
So when you're in there right now bouncing around, these are solid blows, right? Like, you're getting punched in the face, or you're punching people in the face. This isn't no cushion, right? Like, you're getting hit.
No,
like,
no.
Solid punches. Run us through this right here.
Punches. Solid punches.
Run us through this right here. Run us through, like, your feelings. What are you doing? What are you looking at? How are you feeling in this part right here?
I'm looking at everything that I looked at in film and from previous fights, just to see little tendencies that he do, whether if he reacts to a feint, just watch his shoulders, a lot of stuff like that, because you watching the punch and it comes from the shoulders, or some people throw it straight from the elbow. It's like you watch little stuff just to see where a shot's gonna come from, and just head movement. There's so much you can look at, like a person, the footwork, their hips, everything. And they react to a certain punch, to a certain feint, the right or wrong way. that lets me know how to set up my next move. It's really chess, man. It's really chess.
When I'm watching you in here, and one thing I want to tell people, HC, is this. You're an excellent fighter, and I got to tell you, I've been watching you for a while. I think you're one of the best, and I'm not just saying this because you're on here. Like I said, I have other people on the interview cast, and I give my honest opinion, whether I'm right or wrong. I give my honest opinion because it's my show, but I had a guy on the show, and I said, I don't think that football team's going to win. He goes, I come from there. I said, that's great, but I don't think they're going to win. And then when I'm watching you, I'm like, yo, this guy's the real deal. Like, the real deal. And the reason why I say that is the way you're moving, your speed. Your punches are coming a hell of a lot different than all the other people I'm watching fight. So I'm like, every time I'm watching, I'm like, any given time, there could be a knockout, like any given second. And then people don't realize this. When you're in the ring and you're fighting, these other people are fighters too. Like, they're warriors.
Of course.
They're in there putting their game in, right? Like, they're not people that aren't warriors. Like, you might be better than them.
Yeah.
But they're in there like you, right? So
their fighters just like me. They got the same chance, same opportunity. They got the same training. And most of the people I fought, I think everybody has had more fights than me. So, the more experience.
Yeah. So let's talk about this. So when you're in the ring and you're fighting, what I want to know is there a different mentality? I know UFC, when people started watching UFC, it was gruesome. It was like, oh my God, like they're real fighters, like they're there. Can you run me through the difference that you feel between UFC and Bareknuckle? Is there a difference?
It's a difference because obviously with UFC, it's so much more you have to look out for. People do, jiu-jitsu and wrestling backgrounds and stuff like that. Bareknuckle is just traditional boxing, just without the gloves. And they added a little twist to it with the clinch. Like, you can grab, the back of somebody's neck and hold them and, work your other hand as long as you're working and land, shots to the stomach, the face, anything like that. So it has that mixture in it that kind of, it's boxing, but it kind of, it helps the UFC fighters out because, a lot of UFC fighters fight in a lot of different ways. So that's just really the gist of it. It's not too much of a big difference other than not being able to knee, kick, elbow, stuff like that. But, you see some UFC fights. The last few fights I've seen on the last card with Volk, when he fought, there was a lot of fighters that didn't grapple, didn't try to submit the person. They just stood up and, they threw hands. So that's what Bareknuckle is, man. Just to see who has better, the better chin and the better hands.
So let me get this straight. So when you're in the ring, right? And I come from a background, my family, and I'll be honest with you, I grew up a little rough too. Like, my family was a little out of control. Like, I had family and friends that were fighting growing up. And listen, I came from a part of town where I live now is a hell of a lot better. I promise you. My home down here in South Florida, I got a beautiful house and all this. And people are like, oh, it's a nice guy. Where I came from looked nothing like this. So
same.
So I get you, right? So run me through your background, your family, your kids. Like, what's that like? How many kids do you have? What's that like being a fighter, the family atmosphere?
Well, originally I'm from Broward County, Florida, born and raised. I'm representing the 954 always. That's where I grew up fighting. That's where I grew up learning all the things I've learned about, not being scared of anybody or any challenge. Like, I grew up in a single parent household. My mom was my mom and my dad, and I didn't get to do all the sports I wanted to do, but the things I did get to do, I always excelled in them. So, I'm blessed for that because she tried her best to do what she had to do to support me and my brother and my sister. But, we all have different upbringings, and it builds our character. And that's definitely one of my biggest character builders because my mom, in a sense, she taught me how to fight. Like, she taught me to never back down from a person. And, you got to do what you got to do. And I just always had that chip on my shoulder. So
I love it.
That's always just been big. So shout out to moms, for having me here right now. And growing up in South Florida is pretty rough. Growing up anywhere is rough, depending on which part you live in. And I, bounced around a lot. Staying with my grandmas and other houses and switching schools a lot. So it was tough to really establish like friendships and stuff like that. So I was always on the move until I finally got set with the right, school and people, and then I grew up with my childhood friends, and then it was good. And had I want to say a regular life. My life is far from regular, but I don't want to go too much in detail. But I dealt with a lot of stuff, just like everybody deals with things, growing up, and it just molded me into the man I am today. I had kids early. I have 4 kids. I have 3 sons and a daughter, and those are my motivation. To be great, to be better than people said I could ever be, to not get stuck in the system, to be a statistic, and just work a 9 to 5 and do everything everybody else is doing. Like I want to be greater than that. I had athletic ability, and I just felt the need that I had to use it. God gave me the athletic ability. He did for a reason. I messed it up in high school fighting instead of being, in school playing football, running
It's
track
paying
because
off
I was
now.
good. Yeah, it's paying off now because it closed that door. Fighting closed the door for me for football, for my education, for track stuff like that. And when it didn't like pan out how I wanted it to pan out, that door open. Like you can still
Mm.
fight. So I put it all in the fighting, man. And I wanted to show my kids that no matter where you come from, the plate you've been dealt, you can go ahead and be greater than anybody thought you could be. Just got to work hard. Got to have the motivation, the discipline to just go after the things that you want. And that's what I'm doing right now.
Let me tell you what you just did for a lot of people, including myself. So you said you got 4 kids, you got 3 boys and a daughter. So let me tell you how cool this is. I have 3 kids. I have
Yeah.
2 boys and a daughter, but my wife's pregnant with number 4, and it's a
Woo!
boy.
Congratulations.
Thank you, and it's a boy. So
Yeah.
we're in the same boat, right? Congratulations to you too.
Thank you. Thank you.
People watching this are excited and they want to hear some of this stuff. So,
Yeah.
thank you. That also gives me motivation also. So
No problem.
your family atmosphere, your kids, how old are your kids?
9, 9, 8, and 5.
Okay. So they know what you do clearly, right?
Yeah.
Like my
Yeah.
1-year-old's walking around and she says, office, office, like I'm in the office. So I know your older kids, 9, 9, 5, I know they're watching you fight, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Are they rooting you on? Are they pumped to see? Are they scared? What do they go through in their feelings?
They're actually always excited. They're never, down about it. They always want to see me fight. Or if I'm going to the gym, they want to go to the gym. My daughter is just like a workout maniac. Like she comes to the gym and like she's hitting the bag. I turn around, she's doing sit-ups, and it's crazy. It's my daughter out of everybody. Like my boys like boxing too, but they like other sports, and I'm not a person that wants to force anything upon them and be like, "Yo, you have to box because I box," or I want to know the basics of fighting. But
Right.
what they want to do, I'm going to support, wholeheartedly because I didn't always have that growing up, so I want to definitely give that to my kids. So anything they want to do, I'm behind. They want to fight, of course, I'm going to pass that down to them. And even if they don't want to fight, I just show them the basics so they can know how to defend themselves. They got a younger sister they're gonna have to defend, and they got to go through things in life as men when they get to that point.
You know, and that's, I love what you just said. A lot of people, they grow up in life, they're in business, right? Or they're in sports. And then I got to tell you something. Then you have fighting. It's different.
Yeah.
Like it's
Oh,
different.
totally.
The football
Totally.
field is great. I play football, run around. I got 10 guys on the field. Basketball, you
Yeah.
got 4 guys on the court. Fighting, it is you and them. Like live and die in Bareknuckle, right? Like they're not out
There's
there to
no
like shake
plan.
your hand, you know?
Yeah, there's no playing boxing. There's no playing bare knuckle. There's no playing UFC.
No.
And people don't understand it's life or death. Like we real deal warriors. Like we go out there and risk everything. We can lose our life. One shot can have us paralyzed or never
right.
be able to use our hand, leg, stuff again. It's life changing. People don't understand it. They just want to see an entertaining fight. I understand people want to see knockouts, but sometimes people are not the same after that, man. Sometimes, your head's not the same. The way you eat isn't the same. The way you talk isn't the same. The way you hold a pen isn't the same. There's a lot of stuff you can't do after, you've had a long career. And even if you had a short career, if you get the wrong shot at the wrong time, some people don't recover from it, man. And people don't understand that, But, we have to entertain the fans, and that's the business we in. It comes with a lot of risk.
You know what? And that leads us right into the next conversation I want to have with you. So you go through injuries. We're going to go through injuries in a second. And I know this because I saw you get injured.
Yeah.
I saw the surgery you went through. I did my background, my research. And then I saw you fight really quickly. I'm going to go into that in a second because I know you came back and you fought right away. So as you get injured and something happens in the ring, obviously you're a warrior. You're fighting through it. You got a broken finger. You got a broken hand. You're either using it a little bit or you're just using your other hand. Like rest of the fight, you're not walking out and you're quitting. So run us through the fact that you had a title shot, right? You get to the title shot. I got to tell you, everybody I talked to was like, this guy's the best fighter and the weight class and probably one of the best fighters in Bareknuckle. And like I said, I'm telling you the truth. Everyone talked about it. You saw Shaquille O'Neal was giving you some hype. Mayweather gave you some hype, and people are talking about you. So tell us what it's like and what happened in your last fight when you were getting ready to fight for the title shot. Tell us about your injury and what you felt going through that fighting right away.
I feel like timing played a big part in my last fight. Originally, I wanted a tune-up fight before I fought for the belt because I had fought 3 times that year. And it's not that I didn't want to fight at the end of the year. It's the fact that before my title shot, I fought this dude and I knocked him out in the first round. And when I knocked him out, I had a clear break in my right hand, and I broke my hand. I required surgery. I had a screw put in my hand, and straight from that fight, it was no like break, no rest. Like as soon as they told me I was clear, which was like I had my hand in a hard cast after they had it in a different type of wrapping, I went straight to training for the title fight. So it was my first time breaking a bone in my hand like that and having a screw put in. So I went through a lot of adversity, you know, making sure my hand was as good as it could have been. But just the fact that I had surgery the year before that, there was a lot of trauma on my hand. It's 2 surgeries on the same hand in less than 2 years. So I didn't know it, but my subconscious, like as I'm fighting and stuff like that, there's a lot of times I'm fighting a dude. When I fought for the belt, that I was supposed to throw the right hand, and you can go back and look at it. And I couldn't. Like my body was stopping me. Like I wasn't trying to stop it. It just like halfway through the shot, it'll stop because he was coming in with his head down. And if I would have landed the shot, my hand probably would have broke again. So it was the fear of that happening. So, you know, us fighters go through things that messes us up. That isn't always the physical aspect, it's the mental. And you don't always control your body. If your body has been through something that's traumatic, you know, it'll stop you from performing at your highest rate that you can, regardless if it's just one hand or both hands or, you know, just anything like that. But I fought that dude after coming back from the injury. I wanted the tune-up fight, and it was like, if I fight the tune-up fight or I get it and I lose or I get hurt, they're going to move on and I won't get that title shot. So it was like, you know, now or never, and I didn't have a choice. If you look back on my resume, each time I lost, even the time I lost by Dr. Stoppage with a cut, even though I was winning the round, I just came back off for 6 months from my first hand surgery. So each time I got a loss or had adversity, it's unfortunately I couldn't overcome it. Even though the one with the Dr. Stoppage wasn't in my hand, it was a cut. It wasn't really my hand, I felt like. But when I'm at my 100%, there's nobody I feel can stop me, and it's nothing to take away from my opponents. Kudos to my opponent who cut my eye at one time like that, even though it wasn't a significant shot. It's Bareknuckle. And kudos to my last opponent. He was the best version of himself that night. He fought me when I wasn't at my best version, and it's not an excuse in the fact, you know, my last fight when I had a broken hand. I was out, I think.
So I've been in conversation with him. I've been in conversation with him. Yeah. I wanted to get you guys both on here and talk about like the next fight, not the last fight.
Oh yeah.
I want to get you on and say, look, these are the 2 best fighters in the weight class.
Yeah.
I mean, let's get it started. Let's get the pay grade up, first of all, right?
Oh, for sure.
You guys deserve a payday. I think, hey, let's get the rematch going. I can hype that up. I can get people in here. We can get celebrities involved. We can get it going and get that rematch that you need, right? You came into there and people watching for the first time don't know. I pretty sure I ran it through a little bit easier. He had an injury going into the last fight. You had to get screws and all this shit put into his hand. Wasn't ready. Couldn't recover fast enough. I had to take the fight anyway early so we can get the title shot. And that's what fighters go through. So, look, kudos to them. Kudos to you. And kudos to the guy you fought. Great fighter. Yeah. Tell people watching right now, when you're in the ring, you get to the corner, you know, after the first round, whatever, you get to the corner, right?
Yeah.
What are they saying to you? Run us through a feeling like, not just like, hey, throw the right, throw the jab, not that, but like when you're bleeding, you got a gash in your head. Give them the like cold facts, like you need stitches right now, but that doesn't matter. What do they say to you when you got a big ass cut on your forehead?
Yeah, I mean, the first round when we fought, the last fight, I didn't have anything coming out of the first round. It was more towards, I think, later in the fight, I ended up getting like little cuts here and there because the clinch fighting was doing. But my corner was saying the same thing to me, that I knew what I had to do and I should have been doing it, but I didn't even get to. It wasn't just the physical aspect of like my last fight. My mental was completely shocked. A lot of stuff had happened during the midst of training camp, and unfortunately for my opponent, not unfortunately for my opponent, unfortunately for me, and to his advantage, he used something that I was going through that was weighing on me for a while, and I had some people that tried to make me look like something that I wasn't. Some foul accusations that just try to tear down my whole body of work of who I am and the person
Yeah.
I show out to be in the real world to other men and to the kids and stuff like that. And somebody really tried to like mess up my life with providing for my kids, my sponsorships,
Yeah.
my image, everything. So it's just a lot. And he got onto that. I don't know how. Some things were sent to him, and he said something to me in the beginning of the fight that was real disturbing. It just took me out of my whole mindset, my whole game, and I kind of blinked out and wasn't there. So in the corner, my coach knew about it a few days before because I was staying with him in a hotel for like a week and a half in Utah to kind of get adjusted to the altitude, so that. And then stuff kept coming up, and he's the only person that I vented to about it, and we talked about it, and we just tried to push through it, and sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. Unfortunately for me, I couldn't push past it and get out of my own way for that fight, so I wasn't really there. And the mental aspect, physical, I feel like I was more there physical than mentally. Mentally, I was shocked. It was just I couldn't believe what was said on national TV or whoever heard it, and it was just like I said, it was just a lot going on. Man, my family was getting attacked, and it's just I had to weather the storm and try out there and go perform my best regardless of what was going on. But people don't understand that, as Mike Tyson has said, fighting, boxing, everything is 90% mental, 10% physical. So my mental's thrown off. That's worse than my physical being thrown off. Like my hand can be bad, but I can fight through a hand. If I can't fight past my mind and getting back, it's pretty hard. So there's a lot I was supposed to do, and I couldn't. Like as I said, I fought his probably best version of himself because I made him, work hard, train hard. He was a champion. I'm pretty sure he does that anyways, but because I was a big task, pretty sure he did it even more so. And I trained my ass off, man. I was probably in the best physical shape I could have been in. Yeah, my hand wasn't 100%, and it probably would never be 100%, but I fought through it. It's just my mind, man. I've never been that mentally out of it for any fight. I've never had to deal with what I dealt with throughout my life. It wasn't just the fight game. Like, to go through what I went through, like, people have killed themselves over it, you know what I mean? And God rest the dead. For those people that didn't, get past that, I got past it, and yeah, I lost the fight, but it was bigger than just a fight, man. Like when you have your character being assassinated in sick ways, bro, it messes with you when you're a different type of man. Some people may not care about it and say, oh, it's just words, you can move past it, but it was stuff being sitting around that was fabricated to make me look a certain way, and like I got kids, bro. It was real hard to take on, and have it on my mind and knowing that it got sent to the person that I'm talking to, the mother of my kids, all type of stuff. So it wasn't nothing I was like. They go
for your neck in certain circumstances. They're going for your neck, especially before the fight, right?
Right before the fight, it got sent to news outlets. It got sent to my opponent's camp, and then he used it to his advantage when he walked in the ring. I had no clue that he knew about anything that was going on. I was just dealing with it behind the scenes. People was posting stuff on BKFC page, calling me certain things. And everybody's looking like, what do they mean by that? There's a lot of speculation, and I wasn't even speaking on it. I wasn't trying to give it no energy. I was trying to give it to God. And then we walked in the ring, and I'm sitting there, and my opponent came around the circle and walked past and called me exactly what a lot of people that don't know what's going on has been calling me. It's like everything just came rushing in at that moment, and I just lost myself. I didn't quit. I didn't walk out the ring. I didn't, attack him. I tried to do what I was doing for months and just weather the storm, man. People don't know that fighters go through things like that. Like people would do anything for advantage. If they couldn't get the advantage in the physical form, I'm going to get the advantage in the mental form because, people I thought was friends and family know me and they use stuff against me, regardless if they got it from somebody else or whatever, because they know I deal with certain stuff mentally. That they knew something like that would get to me, and they knew that it'll knock me off my game. So it was very foul, man.
So what do you do? So what do you do in the corner in a position, other fighters too? You have an open gash, let's just say on your face, and you need stitches right now. I'm gonna run because fighting is one thing, right? Black eye, lumps, bruises, couple chests, whatever. But say your eye is cut open and it's coming down the face, it's bleeding.
Yeah.
As a fighter, if you've been fighting for a long time, boom, let's keep rolling.
Yeah.
Someone that's in there and you got this open gash, what do they say to you? Tell me what you show up to the corner, there's an open cut on your face.
Yeah.
How do they approach it? Do they say, "Oh, you're good to go"? Do they say, "Hell, holy shit, is the problem"? Like, what do they say to you?
I mean, with me, I've had cuts around my eye area, my eyebrow and eyelid and stuff like that, and then like they usually don't say nothing because they know who I am. They're not gonna make a big deal. They're gonna see the cut. They can't put stitches right then and there, but they'll put some type of, something to put like press on it. If it's swollen, if it has a cut, they'll try to stop the bleeding and stuff like that. But they can't do stitches right then and there. That's for after the fight. So
right,
wherever it's at, when I'm going through it and I get cut, I've been cut and I just wipe the blood away. You know what I'm saying? Like you feel like a little warmness, unless it's like unless it's covering your eyelid or something that's really big that affects your vision. Then it's really nothing. But most people say they can't see when certain stuff happens if their eye gets swollen. But man, you have to kill me in that ring, man. That's how I've been bred throughout life. Like I've been jumped, I've been shot at, I've been, people try to stab me, a whole bunch of stuff, bro. So I've been through it. So I look death in the eye, I look all that stuff in the eye, and it doesn't faze me. If I'm bleeding, I'm bleeding. If my hand is broken, which I fought with my hand broken, it is what it is. I just have that heart like that I'm gonna go through it and I'm gonna see it to the end.
Before we go, we got two more things. Tell us about your next fight. So you got a fight coming up, right? March 15th, right?
Yeah.
Looking to brawl, looking to go and win this fight and get your title shot back. Tell people watching what you're looking at right here, you're fighting, but also tell them how they can get their tickets and go watch you fight.
Okay, I'm fighting March 15th. It's going to be at Dolphin Mall. I have physical tickets on me. My management company, All In, also has tickets you guys can purchase directly from us to help support me in the fight. I'm fighting this dude named Sean, I think, Sean P. Town Wilson. He's, I think, 3-1 in Bareknuckle or 3-0. He's had some knockouts. He has a brawler-like style. I'm gonna look to finish him early, to preserve my hands and not make it a grueling battle, not take any cuts or unnecessary damage. Want to be very technical in there and not fight, but use my skill set to get a knockout. Regardless of what he's coming with, I feel like I can negate it and I can impose my will on him. So I'm definitely gonna try to do that on February 15th. Not even gonna try. I'm going to do that. The coach I'm with now, the game plan we've been working on, the sparring I've been getting, 100% ready to go out and get back on the winning track and get back to my title shot.
Hey, we got people that are in here now too that are watching you. And listen, I got a lot of great people in here. I'll announce them that are watching you, that are getting to know you, that are supporting you, that want to come see you.
Appreciate you guys.
In here, I have even Greg Weeks is in here, is from Florida, knows Dolphin ball, knows the area, play football with him. He's in here. I got family here. I got friends in here. I have all kinds of people coming in. And one of my biggest supporters, my parents are my biggest supporters. Also, my wife, obviously now my wife is a rock of my life at this point in time. But my mom, obviously my life, my whole life, have given me so many opportunities. I'm so grateful for them. So I want to just tell you, even my cousin Devon is in here watching you. But let me say something.
You guys.
My mom said road trip, and it's important because she knows what it's like to grow up in a household. My parents were separated young, so you have a single mother. So I know what you kind of went through. My dad was great, but close by, but you grow up in your mom's household. So I know she's watching this right now going, love to see a guy grow up and get raised and get out there. And she's commenting for you, which I love. And a lot of these people, a lot of times are at work, jumping on their phone, still talking. I know she works full time. She jumps on here and she goes, hey, I love to see what. So they're saying road trip to come watch you fight. And so real quick, so the fight's coming March 15th. I have it up here. The best way, again, to get tickets. I'm going to the fight regardless.
Oh, so appreciate you, man. Appreciate you guys.
I got people affiliated with the Dolphins. I got a lot of people. One more time, how to get their tickets. Get them from you, your social media. What's your social media page? Tell them Instagram, everything. Okay,
I got you. My social media page is and my Instagram is NHHD876, and my management team is All In Management. They'll definitely have tickets too. I got physical tickets. You can purchase tickets from me or them to support me directly. If you can't get the tickets from me, you can go on, I believe, Eventbrite, and they still have some tickets. The tickets I have are $60. The ones on the Eventbrite, they may vary. of which ones you can get. But regardless, I appreciate the support. Anybody that's from out of town that's from the state of Florida that comes out to support me, I'm
We're
definitely gonna put
going.
on a good show for you guys. Thank you so much, for real.
HD Davis. That's what you got to type in. When you're on Instagram, you can tell him HD Davis, Howard Davis. Search Instagram right now. If you're watching this, follow HD. I mean, watching the guy who's going to fight and show up and put on a show. We're looking forward to seeing you. And before you go today, and I appreciate you coming on. I'm sure we'll have you on again after your fight. Maybe before your fight. Look, even 5 minutes in your locker room real quick, if we don't get too far in your head right before the fight, we're rooting for you, watching you. If you could tell somebody who wants to get into the fight game and someone who maybe going through the struggles of life, not that easy, give your quick, and not to put you on the spot, right? Like your quick opinion. Hey, if you want to get into the fight game, you're going through something, what's your advice for someone who's fighting adversity?
My advice for anyone that's fighting adversity is, first, always give my worries and my anxieties to my Lord and my Savior, Jesus Christ. And then from that, I just try to navigate through life and move positive and try to always reassure myself that I'm here for a reason. This is happening for a reason. And, the storm is right now. It's happening right now. The problems you're going through it right now. But at the end of the storm is always light. So just, keep your feet moving, keep your head down, and just work hard, stay disciplined. Whatever you're going through, you can always work through it, man. That's the best advice I can give, because motivation is good to have here and there, but when you're disciplined and you having good days, just like you have bad days, and you still get up and do what you got to do, that's the difference in everything.
Nah, look, we appreciate that. HG, I know you got a lot to do today, and people watching, he's sparring day after day. He's training day after day. He's got to do conditioning day after day. He's working on his hands day after day. We're looking forward to seeing this, man. And what's your top punch? Your right hand, your left hand? Which fist you got? Which fist you throwing?
My top punch is from my right hand, even though it's, our robot right now with the screw in it, and I'm still fighting with it.
Show us that fist. Show us that fist. Where's that screw at?
The screw is right there where that scar is. It's right inside there.
So look, now you got the screw coming for support too.
Yeah, I got screw coming, man.
Look, man, listen, we appreciate you. We're supporting you. I've been watching you fight for a while. I will be there. I will bring other people there. We'll morale behind you, and we'll get tickets from you. We'll find the best seat in that location. I have a lot of contacts down here, so hopefully I'll be right front and center rooting for you. And we'll try to get you on right before your fight without being in the way in the locker room. Jump on here just for 2 minutes. Say, look, I'm ready to go. Even if your trainer's holding it, we want to see you throwing some punches before you go out there live.
I got you, man. Thank you guys so much for having me on, man.
Appreciate you, brother. Thanks for having you, and we'll see you soon.
All right, have a blessed day.
You got it, buddy. Guys, for the first time, if you haven't seen Howard Davis, you got to follow him. You got to check him out. You got to see what he's doing. You got to get on there and follow him on Instagram. Give him support. If you want to go to the fight, let me know, because we're going to get a posse and watch him fight. I've been watching him for a while. We're going to move on to the rest of the show right now because we have some other interesting things. Probably not as interesting as him fighting, but it's pretty important. Cowboys Jerry Jones, the owner, is taking a paternity test for a girl that says, look, that's my dad. That's very interesting, right? Like, Jerry Jones now, it's continuously going on. He has to take a paternity test. And I believe on here, people are going, oh, I don't know. I don't believe it. Well, believe it, because she's saying, look, I believe she's like 27 years old. And she's like, that's my dad. Like, are you serious? Like, that's your dad? And then, 27 years later, the judge in the courtroom and all of them, they're saying, look, you got to take the test now because we got to find out. And she's showing up going, look, my dad's like 100 years old. He's the owner of the Cowboys. And when he's gone, I'm going to be owner, or I'm going to be a very, very rich woman. But moving on to that, we got Tom Brady. He runs a faster 40 time than he did 24 years ago. I got the clip here. Look at this. 22 years old, he's running, and look where it shows him at 45. Are you serious? Tom Brady is running a faster 40 time 4 years later? Like, he either needed a new trainer or something. But look, Tom Brady, come on now. You either hold him back, because I don't know anybody that's running a faster 40 time 24 years later. Also, was Bill Belichick disrespected by NFL teams? Well, let me tell you something. Bill Belichick didn't get his chance to coach again. And I would say this, one of the best coaches of all time, obviously with the New England Patriots, was one of the best coaches to ever see. He had Tom Brady on his side. He won Super Bowl after Super Bowl after Super Bowl. Tom Brady was the man. Nobody wanted to hire him after that. It's like, okay, you're one of the best ever. Let's move forward to do some interviews, and everyone hires somebody else. Bill Belichick is left out to dry. I don't know if that's disrespect, or is the NFL moving on to a younger generation? Are they saying, hey, look, we don't really want to have, the older generation of coaches, but what I will say is there's pros and cons to it, because the older generation, it's not the buddy system. They're not the same age as you. They're showing up. They're coaching football, all phases, offense, defense, special teams. They're out there to coach winners and win Super Bowls. They don't have a lot of time left coaching football. They're out there to win. I like older coaches personally, Bill Cowers of the world, right? Even like Pete Carroll. Then you have obviously Bill Belichick. A lot of these guys out there that are coaching football for a long period of time, even college football. They're guys you respect. They're guys you love. Unlike right now with the Jet situation with the buddy system with Aaron Rodgers. I'm not a fan of that. I like Aaron Rodgers, but I don't like the buddy system. Let's move on to the next topic. And we have Marvin Harrison Jr. is opting out of the NFL Combine. Now, why? Because he's a beast already. Everybody knows who he is. He doesn't have to worry about it. He's one of the best receivers in college football. The best receiver in college football, sorry. And he's running the fast 40 time. He already showed it on game tape. And people are like, well, I think he should still participate in the draft combine because people need to see him. You've seen enough, right? You've seen enough. If you are coming from a very small school, you don't have a lot of tape. You didn't have the accolades. You weren't the MVP. You didn't have top stats. Okay, show up, produce. Show up, produce. I'm a big believer in what Marvin Harris is doing, to be honest with you. If I'm him and I'm going, look, I've already shown the world what I can do. I've shown everybody watching college football, everyone that's in the NFL that's like, okay, this guy's coming to take my spot on my roster, right, on my team. Marvin Harrison's going to go top pick, right? Whether he's top 5, top 4, they're going to get their quarterbacks. With Caleb Williams will go number 1 to the Bears. After that, there's a few teams that need quarterbacks. You need quarterbacks, but you need receivers. So Marvin Harrison's that guy who's going to step in on any roster, anywhere he's going to go, and he's going to light it up. And if you ask me, it kind of reminds me a little bit like a guy stepping up like CeeDee Lamb, right? Like shows up for the Cowboys, balls out, one of the best receivers in the NFL right now. I think Marvin Harrison Jr. is doing the right thing. I'm not doing combine. I'm not running anywhere. I'm not jumping anywhere. I'm not showing anything. I'm not doing bench press. A lot of receivers don't really do bench press that much anyway. But what would be the reason for him to get out there and what? Do something wrong that can hurt him? Because at this point, he's done everything to help him. He's won everything he needed to do from the stats, from the catching to the receiving yards, to showing his speed, the burst, the agility. He's done everything you need to do in college football to get drafted in the top pick. If they were taking a receiver first pick, he's the first pick. Because the Bears need a quarterback so damn bad to fix their program, even though I like Justin Fields, the Bears are trying to move on from Justin Fields, so they need a quarterback. That's why Caleb Williams will probably go first pick. After that, Marvin Harrison is the guy. I agree with what he's doing. I don't think he should participate. I think he should say, look, I'm the man. I'm the guy. Put my game tape on. I played against big-time schools in big-time games. Draft me in the top pick, and you'll get a guy who can come out and can produce right away. And we'll move on right now to the quote of the day. And here it is. You just can't beat the person who won't give up. Right? You know why I love this quote so much? Because I'm not going to give up. Anybody here watching this show and this program as we expand our network and show, you see guys coming on here now, live interviews. We have a lot more people coming on here. We're talking to major networks right now too. And like I told you, instead of jumping on those teams and working for them, I'm building my own platform, my own network. So I appreciate all of you watching, but you just can't beat the person who won't give up. Put something on your team like that, right? If you need a teammate, you need a partner, put something on your team like that. Someone like me will step up and go, I'm 24 hours a day. Call me at 1 o'clock. I'll jump up and answer the phone. I got kids. Everyone has the excuse. I got kids. I got 3 on the way. I don't care. I'll get up and get it done. I prepare at nighttime before my show. Last night, getting these guys set up. Howard Davis come on live. Tons of emails. I also have Howard behind the scenes in production as we expand our network. I appreciate all of you. But again, you just can't beat the person who won't give up. Why? Because they're not going to stop. They're not going to quit. Be that person for your family, for your friends, and more important, be it for yourself. Or be that person who won't quit on yourself. That means you get closer and closer to your success every single day. And I appreciate all of you watching. We're on every single day at 10 a.m., Monday through Friday. I hope all of you enjoy your weekend, and I will see you Monday, bright and early, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we have more interviews coming next week as we expand our network. Everyone that's in here, good morning to you. I appreciate you. I love you. Thanks for the support. People that watch, they come in and out all through social media, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, all those are growing as well. Thank you. I look forward to seeing you guys bright and early on Monday. Until next time.